I'm glad to see you all. Let's continue our conversation and answer some questions. Who urgently needs to ask something? The lady in blue over there.
Thank you very much. I've been listening to your lectures for several years, and I can say that personal communication cannot be replaced by audio or video on YouTube. Thank you very much.
Please allow me to interrupt our conversation briefly and share that you can have many more opportunities for personal communication with me. We have online lectures on the website torsunov.ru. You can visit it, and there's an online project there. Once a month I conduct meetings. You just need to organize yourself a little bit. You need to gather at someone's apartment or in a small hall, then I will be able to see you. There's an opportunity to see me in a group setting. Lectures take place at 11 Moscow time on Saturday and Sunday, once a month, every month. You can also ask me questions. I will answer you. At least one person in the group will definitely have the opportunity to communicate with me during those 2 days. We also have prayer retreats that we conduct twice a year. The next prayer retreat will be in mid-August, around the 17th. You can also organize a small group for this. I will give instructions for prayer, and then people will share their experiences of how they prayed. It's a very serious event. Another opportunity to meet with me is at the festival. This festival is a very, very good project for Europeans. I'll explain to you why. It's a 3-star hotel accommodation with full board included. You can eat as much as you want, from morning until evening. Activities run from morning until evening. In the morning, there are meditations, yoga, various qigong, and dances. In the evening, there are concerts and performances. During the day, many different lectures take place. Spending time there will be worthwhile. For 600 euros, you get 2 weeks of full-fledged vacation. It's all inclusive, and it's 600 euros. I've heard that here, a hotel costs that much per day. Come visit. Everyone who attends the festival has an opportunity to communicate with me. Because after each lecture, I sit in a small circle for an hour and a half, and everyone can ask me questions. This is also an opportunity to communicate. I have lectures constantly. I'm just saying that for Europeans, this is a luxurious vacation because it's very cheap, and there's a very substantial, serious program. In terms of quality, I think the festival is one of the best in the world of this kind. About 1,000 people from 40 countries around the world come to our festival to relax, including even from the USA. It's a very comprehensive, serious festival. All the information about it is on our website. Take a look there, study it, you'll like it. Please continue with your question.
I can't get rid of my attachment to a person.
Today's lecture will help you get rid of this attachment. I'll tell you today how to do it.
My husband wants a 3rd child. It's not easy for me. We already have 2.
Yes, it's not easy for you, and I don't know if you'll be able to conceive a 3rd child. Your body is not ready for this at all right now. No, it's not ready hormonally or physically. However, in about 9-10 months, a good astrological period will begin, and during this time you could try to conceive. For this, you should practice yoga and swimming. Your body has static tension inside, which hinders you. This same tension leads to depression. It causes depression. Tension can be removed by static exercises and swimming, as well as water. Yoga and water are your best friends.
What other recommendations do you have for health? There really is tension.
I gave you recommendations, yoga and swimming. If you do this, you will have normal health.
Should I do it every day?
Not every day. Practice yoga once every 2 or 3 days and swim twice a week. Sprouted grains are also beneficial for you. You should eat more of them. Vegetables that grow above the ground are suitable. Zucchini, pumpkin, paddy pan squash. You should also increase these foods in your diet.
I've been doing this business for 10 years. I like my business and my work. I have a partnership. My partner is my man. I feel that I've reached the level where it brings me pleasure. I want to ask you, am I where I'm needed, and are these really my abilities and calling?
This question is not related to necessity. It's related to the fact that she sees Dr. Torsunov and thinks, I must definitely ask him about this too, although she knows for sure that they have a great job, that she's fine there, and she doesn't want to change anything. I confirm this to you.
Thank you.
The most important thing in your life is getting rid of depression. This is crucial. It's the main problem affecting your personal life. You have a wonderful husband and a wonderful family, yet you're stuck in this depression and can't break free. I'm going to talk seriously about this right at the beginning of the lecture and about how to remove it, because I've heard that in general many people in Italy suffer from depression.
Thank you.
Be happy. Who really needs to have their question answered? Who among you hasn't spoken with me yet? Let's hear from you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Torsunov, for this opportunity. The first question is about me. Why does everything hurt, and why are all my illnesses on my right side?
You have a very caustic fire in your body. This caustic fire affects your muscles, and you develop muscle pains throughout your body. Everything hurts means muscles hurt. Not everything hurts, but the muscles are sore in the body. This discomfort is caused by a caustic fire in your body. You can alleviate this fire by fasting on water and static exercises. You need to cool down because you're overheated. Although the sun doesn't seem to affect you, this overheating directly affects the muscles. You need to resolve this problem. Raw food suits you. You need to eat more salads. This will also cool you down, making it easier for you.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question is about my husband. He hasn't liked his job for 2 years now. He suffers, gets stressed, and is very tired. At the moment, there's no possibility to change jobs.
He will change this job in a year at most. He will change jobs and he'll have a great job where he won't suffer. Now he just needs to endure because this is inevitable for him. He's going through a difficult period related to work which lasts approximately 2 years and 2 months.
Thank you. The third question is the hardest for me. I want to know how to do this. How to forgive my mother?
Forgiveness is a process connected with deep prayer. In essence, forgiveness is about filling the heart. When this event happened, you were severely depleted, very deeply. A deep depletion occurred in the heart. To deeply fill your heart again, you must immerse yourself deeply in a relationship with God. Forgiveness means relieving the heart. Currently, your heart feels depleted, and memories of your mother drain your energy. You can't think about her. You can only overcome this through prayer, by engaging deeply in prayer. This is a serious thing. The practice of prayer is a serious thing. Both you and the girl in the blue dress who spoke before you should participate in my retreat on August 17th. You can find information about it in our advertisements. We have a club. These clubs can be created by anyone, anywhere you want. In your city, anyone can create a club. For this, you need to undergo training. We have free training available on how to run this club. The essence of this club is to gather people around you and discuss my lectures together, listen, learn further, support each other in life, and help each other. It's a format for communication over a cup of tea or similar. It's just like a friendship. Such clubs should be established in your area as well. If you have a club, they will organize everything. Flowers, cookies for the lecture. This club is outside of Rome. There should be one in Rome too. This club is now conducting a prayer retreat. You don't necessarily need to be in the club to attend this prayer retreat. You just need to visit this project on our website, communicate with them, register, and you can participate online directly. If you gather a small group, I will be able to see you too. On the 17th, I think, or something like that. Around the 17th or 16th, something like that. Unfortunately, the retreat will be in Russian. There won't be a translation, but perhaps some translators will want to help you. If they are willing, talk to them, and they will translate. Don't worry, we'll try to organize something. It's all fine. It would be great if the translation is available. Prayer is a vital part of a person's life. You need to learn it seriously. Today I conducted a lecture for followers of Vedic culture. About 10 people came. We held it in an apartment in the morning. I talked about the importance of prayer there too. At the height of this immersion, you will be able to understand how to forgive. I will tell you about a particular case. I have an acquaintance who held a very high position in Russia. He was responsible for a large area in Moscow for land management. He was building his own cottage village, a very wealthy and influential person. He was working together with his friend who betrayed him. As a result, he lost everything, absolutely everything. He had nothing left, no position in society, no land, none of these riches that he had. He calmly let go of the material loss. He didn't stress much about it, but he couldn't forgive his friend for the betrayal. He trusted in the man who then betrayed him. This he couldn't forgive. I conduct prayer retreats with my friends. We pray aloud. We turn on spiritual music and together repeat the prayer loudly for 2 hours. He also joined us and started repeating the prayer loudly with us. After 2 hours, when I asked everyone, "What do you feel from the prayer?" he didn't think about it at all. He didn't think about it at all during the entire prayer. He just started remembering and realized that he had forgiven. The prayer made him so deeply happy in his heart. He received so much happiness, deep happiness, that this event stopped bothering him. This is called forgiveness. A person feels that this event no longer causes them pain. It's similar to applying a painkiller. The pain disappears. If a painkiller is applied to the skin stops hurting. If a person took medicine, their stomach stopped hurting. Sometimes a person gets offended. An offense is also a pain. Sometimes a person gets offended, and when they're calmed down, it doesn't hurt anymore. But there's pain that resides in intelligence. This pain has a different nature. You can't calm it with words or any medicines. This pain is only removed through contact with faith. Intelligence is related to faith. What is intelligence? Intelligence is a function that tunes a person to some kind of faith. The problem is that you believed in your mother in life, strongly believed, and she behaved very harshly with you. It felt like some kind of betrayal. I don't know the details of what happened there. Well, it felt like a betrayal, and you didn't expect such an action at all. When a person's faith is shattered, when they believe in something and faith is shattered, then the pain can only be healed by another faith. It's similar to this. If a person loves something sweet, then they no longer like something less sweet. Imagine they fell in love with sugar. Then they were offered to eat honey. They tried it, honey is sweeter than sugar, and they think, well, that's it. I don't need sugar anymore. God is like that. He is sweeter than your mother. When you pray to God, read the prayer deeply. The feeling of injustice you experienced from your mother will leave you. You simply experienced a deeper taste.
Thank you very much.
Next, who really needs to ask something urgently? Yes, you, young lady.
Hello, Dr. Torsunov. Thank you very much for asking me. Should I return to my boyfriend if he doesn't want to marry me? He wants to live together while he's bringing me back.
You should return. You simply don't understand that in order for a person to get married, you don't need to force him to marry. You need to change the perception of the world and lifestyle. That means you need to start living differently. And when his conscience begins to awaken in his heart, when deep faith in you starts to awaken, then he will marry you. If we're talking about him seriously, about this person, you don't understand him very well. That's why you're upset with him. Deep in his heart, he has a profound depression. It's not just that he doesn't want to marry you. He doesn't really want to live at all. That means he has a very deep, strong depression. It's not visible externally, but internally, something is pressing on him very heavily. I don't know the specific event. I just see this person's psyche, and I'm telling you what's happening with him. And he's not marrying you because he's disillusioned. In general, it seems he was abruptly abandoned, his heart was wounded, he's afraid of women, afraid of experiencing the same suffering again. He simply doesn't want to experience these sufferings again. And instead of calming this person, understanding him, you're also putting pressure on him. Like, you're not marrying me, I don't want to live with you. But he's already attached to you. He can't be without you anymore. This is incorrect behavior. You need to take the man, so to speak, and gently lead him to the registry office. Take his hand and lead him to the registry office slowly. In modern culture, this might not happen quickly because people are all afraid of each other. They need to understand each other, get used to each other in the relationship. Therefore, you definitely need to return to him because firstly, God has united you, so to speak, and you are suitable for each other. Just every person should always figure themselves out first and foremost. You have one serious problem. You strongly demand understanding for yourself. You want the person to understand you. You want it very much, but you don't understand him at all. This is incorrect thinking. That means that you need to learn to understand another person. Then he will understand you more.
Okay, thank you very much.
If you want a deep, deep feeling of being understood, it's only possible in relationships with women. This is the topic I want to emphasize once again. Women often want their husbands to understand them. This is simply incorrect thinking. A husband and a wife understand each other when they take care of each other in their life together, helping each other. When people simply enjoy each other, there's no understanding there. And if you want someone to spontaneously understand you deeply, communicate with women. You lack this communication. You lead a very lonely lifestyle. Do you want friends or not?
Yes. The thing is, I just moved to another country for him.
Where do you live?
In France.
Did you come here from France?
No, I've left him.
You left for Italy, right? You left France for Italy?
This is my lifestyle. I travel. I'm living in Moscow now, but he's calling me back. He wants me to return to him. In Moscow, I also have few friends now, and in France I had no friends at all, as I didn't know anyone.
Maybe you could make friends via the internet, for example?
I'm going to do that now.
Who can befriend her? She needs friends. Please come up to her, give her your phone number. This person really needs your help. Women can't live without each other. Women need to be friends, otherwise their life simply becomes very difficult. She needs help. She needs friends. She needs someone to complain about life to, about her husband, to constantly talk about how everything is difficult.
Okay, thank you very much.
Be happy. Your question.
I wanted to ask you, why am I different in this country?
Every person is different in different countries. Every person is different with each spouse. A person never remains the same. You see, one has created a new family, has a new life, different relationships, different behavior. One moved to another country, therefore life becomes different, different behavior, different relationships. The reason lies in the energy of the country itself. Each country, each person has their own energy, and a person changes when interacting with it. When people come to Italy, they become like the people here. They come to Russia, they become like the people there. and so on. You just need to accept this.
Yes, I accept it, but it doesn't affect me positively. For 17 years now, every time I return home, I feel as if I'm being filled up.
Look, you just need to accept it. For example, how does life in Italy differ from life in Russia? In Russia, the atmosphere is more energetically calm. People communicate more closely with each other, from the heart. And there's also more depression there, more rudeness, like a feeling of injustice. In Italy, it's a bit different. Here, people are more emotional. They want to experience more happiness in relationships. They also get offended with each other more, feel a greater sense of some kind of injustice. So it's all more vividly expressed. In Russia, it's a bit different. It's not all so vivid there. In Italy, what do Russian people suffer from specifically? As I understand, here you need to be more engaged. Well, that means you need to be more joyful, more sorrowful, meaning to be more involved in relationships. Life is more emotional here by nature. And if you don't do this, people think that you're somewhat detached, as if not quite a normal person. This is more of an Eastern feature. The South means more emotions, more joy and sorrow. There's such a tendency. All Southern countries are more emotional by nature. Also, this concerns Europe. You need to understand how the cardinal directions work. Well, the more westward, the more intellectual people are. They have a predominance of rational thinking. They are more logical. They are more concrete. The more Eastern people are, the more heartfelt they are, the simpler they are. Here is the West. So the West means that everything needs to be done precisely. You need to have a good education, good erudition, to be very well oriented in everything, to be qualified in everything. And at the same time, this is the South. The South means emotions, a more emotional perception of the world, more energy, emotions of love. This is how the country affects people. And if you've come here, you should become such a person.
3 years ago, I wanted to change my place of residence and move to England, to my daughter.
In England, it will also be difficult for you, because there, you see, it's not the South anymore, it's pure West already, and people there are very pragmatic with very rigid, concrete thinking. They're not as emotional. You'll lack emotions. There won't be love, there won't be relationships. It will be more of a business-like lifestyle, such business-like relationships, and it won't suit you either.
I travel there and I like it more there.
Well, okay.
I like it.
So you need a colder country, a calmer one. Well, there's not so much joy and sorrow, right? Okay? You can move to England. Yes, I don't see any problems. It's also too hot for you here. You're overheating here. That's also a problem. Too much sun for you.
One more question. My daughter. She's been living there for a long time in a relationship with a young man. Recently, they decided to break up, despite the fact that they love each other.
People can separate for only one reason. There is no God in their relationship, no spiritual development. They simply get tired of each other, and that's the reason. They are just tired. They are good people. They live together. It became difficult for them to be with each other. They got tired of each other. This is incorrect thinking, an incorrect way of life. If a person's life lacks conscience, depth, God, purity, and spiritual development, fatigue is inevitable for all people. It's an unavoidable factor because simply living for each other, any person will get tired. People get tired of each other. They need something sublime, pure, bright. They need to immerse themselves. The same routine destroys life. Either a person immerses in spiritual life or does more good deeds for others, for example. There are families who live for others. They are altruists. That means they do good deeds. They don't get tired of each other because their life expands. That means more love flows in relationships with people. Some, for instance, help animals. That's their life purpose. They do something, but if people just live for themselves, they're not spiritual. So one can immerse inside the heart, which means prayer, and then people will perceive each other more deeply and purely. Otherwise, they will separate. But if people just have in their life only work and home, and just have sex, that kind of communication, all this ends the relationship because people get tired of each other. They simply got tired of each other, and that's it. It's an incorrect way of life. Yes, you, young lady. Your question.
My husband wants me to accept his religion.
What religion does he have?
Muslim.
And what's yours?
Christianity.
He simply doesn't know what he wants. I'll tell you a story now. One woman married a Muslim and moved to his country. She moved to Turkey and bore him 2 children. These children lived in Muslim culture and Muslim faith, while she was a Christian. She tried to accept his faith. She tried with all her might, but you can't get rid of your faith in your heart. She continued to live like that. As a result, she ran away to Russia, came to my lecture, and asked me this question. I'm left alone without a husband, without children. They are all Muslims in Turkey. and I'm here alone, a Christian, and I'm suffering." She didn't know what to do. I answered that you're suffering because you lack knowledge. What did they want from you? They wanted you to wear Muslim clothes, go to a Muslim temple, repeat Muslim prayers, and then come home and quietly repeat the Jesus prayer. That's what they wanted from you, because all the people around you only want you to accept their culture. Faith can't be forced on anyone. And you can say the same to your husband, but you can say to this person, if you really need him and like him, think carefully and tell him the following: I can wear Muslim clothes, I can repeat Muslim prayers and go to the temple with you. We can raise children as Muslims, but I will pray in my heart the way I love God, and no one can ever change that in my heart. And I'm sure he will accept your words. He will say,
I'm not ready to wear Muslim clothes here, for example, although he demands it.
No one will force you to wear Muslim clothes here. Even many Muslims don't wear Muslim clothes. Look at this lady. She accepted Islam and doesn't wear Muslim clothes. She did as I said and is happy. She's been a Muslim's wife for 26 years. In general, people should think a little differently. We just need to understand that those people who don't like other faiths are simply religious fanatics. There is a great song about your situation, how a Muslim and a Christian can love each other and both be happy. She's a Christian and he says, what's the difference? God is still for us. You have a cross, I have a moon. Well, remember that you're not alone. I'm not alone and you're not alone. The great Lord Allah always watches us from heaven, because that's how he understands God. God is always with us. He's in our hearts. This is the right way of thinking. But if he doesn't have such right thinking, it means he's not a very spiritually developed person. This happens too. It's normal. But you should watch his thinking. Tell him that if you treat my faith badly in life, our family will be destroyed. And if you see that he really wants to treat it that way, don't marry him. Are you already married? And how does he treat your faith? Normally? That's it? So, okay, visit his temple. You need to get acquainted with this culture. Don't be afraid. I also once visited a Muslim temple, although I'm not a Muslim. I have a Muslim priest friend who has many mosques. He's a mentor for many people. And he seated me there in this temple. He placed a translator from Arabic to Russian on one side and from Tatar to Russian on the other side, and went to read a sermon, and they translated everything for me. I was completely blown away. And it was so good, I felt happy. Why? Because everything is the same everywhere. Another friend I have is an Orthodox monk, a priest. He has his own Orthodox parish in Ukraine. He brought me to his Orthodox church where there were spiritual chants. People stood a little behind and put me right in front of the akathist where they sang, although they knew I wasn't baptized at all. They sang, I watched, and he stood next to me. I was an honored guest for them. I was so happy. I saw their eyes, how they sang about God with love. I see no difference anywhere, my dear friends. Everything is the same everywhere. There's only one problem. When a person starts to hate another faith, that's a problem. But it's a problem of that particular person, not of the faith. There are such good Muslims and Christians too. I actually grew up in such an environment. One of my classmates became the leader of the Mormons in Toliati. Another classmate became the leader of the Buddhists in Toliati. A third acquaintance of mine became one of the leaders in the Orthodox Church. I have a good relationship with all of them. I don't have any problems, so to speak. Change your attitude in your heart and that's it. First accept fate, and then it will accept you, but never lose faith in your heart.